Thanks for subscribing to this channel. I don't know which video is going to come out first. I recorded one on down payments for an investment property, and I mentioned the FHA loan situation, and I just felt as though that is a topic that kind of needs its own video, so I'm making this one. I don't know which one will be uploaded first, but the FHA loan for an investment property works like this, right? I'm very familiar with the FHA loan, not because I'm some kind of expert or guru, but I'm a homeowner and I had to get an FHA loan and I had to learn about it. So I know about the stipulations, right? I believe an FHA loan has to be for a 4-unit property or less. So if it's a 6-unit property, you may not qualify for an FHA loan. 6 family units, you know. If it's a duplex, you can qualify. A single family home, you can qualify. And the main stipulation as well is you have to live in that address. In order to qualify for the FHA loan, it has to be your primary residence. That is very key and very tricky, because if you're trying to go into real estate investment, then my suggestion would be get at least a duplex. A duplex is a house with 2 sides, right? Where you can live in one, so it's your primary residence, same address, but you're renting the other side of it to a tenant, to where they're not living in the same space as you, right? And then they're helping you pay for your mortgage. So that's a very key strategy. Get at least a duplex or fourplex or 3 triplex or something like that, right? And with the FHA loan, you're only going to need 3% on the down payment, right? So I think I did the math. Don't quote me here if it's not too accurate, but if you're buying a house, the average home sale in the state I'm in is about $375,000. So if you're getting that and you want to finance that, about 3% of that would be somewhere around $11,000, right? That is something you can save. Additional costs for closing and all of that. And remember, one rule of thumb I use when you're going into investment property, in order to be safe, you need to have about 6 months worth of expenses to cover the mortgage, in case you lose a tenant, in case you get a bad tenant that wants to be a squatter and you got to do litigation, try to get them to move out of the house. That is called a tenant at tenants by sufferance. Sufferance is in the real estate lingo is when the tenant refused to move past the contract on the lease. So now you got a tenant at sufferance, and in order to evict them, you can't legally got to give them 30 days to move out. Then going to court, getting the sheriff, all of these things to get them to move. You know, so a few months may go by where you may not collect rent. You can sue them later, but all that, paying lawyer fees, all of that. And sometimes when you get these tenants that are not willing to move out of your house, 9 times out of 10, they're going to treat it in a very poor manner. So you might have to do repairs after they leave. So just make sure you have some money for tough situations. Plus, a house just sucks money. If you own a house, you just got to keep it up. All right, constantly repairing things. So just have some money saved down so you're not stretched too thin. Don't use all your last on buying a home. I know it's an investment property, but the cash flow you're going to get, the return on investment, the ROI, doesn't come instantly with properties. Over time, they appreciate, and that's how the real estate game works. And I'll do a video detailing how houses make money over time. But just to summarize, let's say you buy a house at 300 grand, you put $20,000 down. In a year, the house now is worth $320,000. Now you got $20,000 of appreciation plus you have been paying your mortgage for a year, which means you're tapping into equity now. You own a piece of that 300 grand. All said and done though, in a 30-year loan, your first few years of paying your mortgage, you're mostly paying interest and less goes to your principal. But that's how it starts to compound, and that's how you gain equity in the home, right? But anyway, back to the house hacking strategy with an FHA loan. A lot of people use this strategy to get their real estate portfolio started. And that means they buy a duplex using an FHA loan where they have to put about $11,000 down on a $375,000 home, which is a lot less than if you have to pay $25,000. The FHA loan is just a loan granted to first-time home buyers or just home buyers in general for their primary residence. That's the government incentivizing people to become homeowners, right? So they finance, I think it's Freddie Mae and Fannie Mae, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These are the financing agencies set up by the government, I believe, to finance these FHA loans for home buyers for their primary residence. So now it's insured by what's called escrow. These are all things I can't really dive into in this video, but pretty much the government kind of backs and guarantees the lender that's giving you the loan to buy the house that even if you default on that loan, it's government insured, so they're going to cover it at some cost. So the lender is kind of secure by government backing. Obviously you need good credit, stable income, and things of that nature to qualify, but at least it's also secured and backed by the government. And it's also an incentive the government used to get people out of apartments into homes. So that's why if you want to go into real estate investment using an FHA loan, it has to be your primary residence. You can try to do all these fake things, but the FHA will always look at where you file your taxes. And there are serious violations and fees and penalties to possibly even losing your home, jail time that goes if you're lying about this is your primary residence, but you're just using it as an investment property. So bottom line is, make it make your investment property your primary residence. Use a duplex or more. It has to be under 4 family unit building, where you can live in one of those units and rent the others out. That's a strategy. And finally, what I would like to add is also a rule of thumb for me is try to save up about 6 months of expenses. I can't stress that more. So if your down payment, closing cost, everything is going to be $50,000, you want to see how much is your mortgage going to be. You multiply that by 6. How much is your living expenses going to be? Multiply that by 6. How much are your escrow and insurance and flood insurance and all these things going to be? Multiply all of those by 6 and have that saved and put to the side just in case of emergencies, so you don't lose your primary residence. Normally it takes you about 6 months to kind of get out of a financial funk. Some people are very good. They can get out of a financial funk in about 3 months, get back on their feet, so to say. Or like I mentioned, just a bad tenant may derail your financial plans. So you need that liquid cash saved in order to cover your investments. Very key. So guys, the reason why I'm making these videos on investments and stuff like that, something that I'm looking into right now as I speak. I'm already a homeowner, and unfortunately it's a single family home, and I don't feel the need to rent rooms in the house I live in as an investment property. No, those days of having roommates for me personally are over, and I'm considering either selling this property and buying a duplex with the appreciation value and down payment that I'll have saved up, or just coming up with the 25% needed to get that second property. It's going to be a tough feat to get that 25%, because rather than 11 grand on the average home of 375 grand, I'm gonna be looking at somewhere around 90,000 plus 6 months of expenses for both houses now, just in case. So it's going to be very rough in the next year, but we grinding, right? And also I'm hoping that the house value continues to appreciate. I'm very thankful and happy and blessed to see how this current property has appreciated in value. And I'm actually mad I didn't buy a house a long time ago, because, man, you know, and some people, when they refinance, they go shopping, get a new Cadillac, do this, do that. If you got to get a new roof, get a new roof for your house. You got to do some repairs, do some repairs. But when you do a cash out refinance, I never suggest the cash out refinance, because it just resets your mortgage back to 30 years. When you do that, make sure that money that you're sucking out of your house, you got a straight and great business plan for. And this is just a business strategy, honestly. I'm thinking about ways to get into my second property, hopefully next year. Going to try my best to make sure I'm focused on that. If you know, nobody knows what can happen, right, in a year's time. But if it doesn't happen in a year, I at least want to put myself in that position. I know it's going to be very hard for me, being that I can't get a duplex unless I sell this house. And I don't believe in selling, honestly, not yet. I believe in accumulating, then over time you sell, all right? Because you get more equity. You get more juice for the squeeze, if I may use that analogy. Well, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Wish me luck, and also good luck on your real estate investments. Make sure you subscribe. We got some more coming for you.
Hello again. Thank you for listening to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to drop the video a like and subscribe to us if you're new. Drop us a comment and let us know what you think.